hot as they'll finish off that second half in a pretty solid way, 5 rounds to 3. However, we transfer now into our other game, Fire and Ice versus Reciprocity here on Vasgar. And just as we join in part with the good old LATAM squadron, it looks as if they have grabbed their second round here, Ryan.
Yeah, definitely a matchup that we expected to be close, right? Obviously, Reciprocity did fall to Fire and Ice in past weeks. As we take a look at the map, seeing a drop shot on the center line. Some back-end utility over on the side of Reciprocity. Of course, Fire and Ice choosing to only use one, but as you can see, they're a little further developed on the sides. You got to imagine the Fire and Ice places that utility in the back end. It's actually a Bull Talk. You know how much I love my Bull Talks.
Sure.
Got to imagine Reciprocity upgrades that to a Shock Grenade. Just kind of match them on the map. And they actually choose an Incend instead.
Okay.
It's going to be a little interesting too, right? One team with a Shock Grenade, one team with an Incend. You got to imagine both of those are going to be used over towards that drop shot fight.
No question about it. Shout out to the Observer giving us the bird's eye point of view. And in fact, it looks as if the drop shot fight will, of course, be the most highlighted, and for good reason. New Edition exploits having a blocked visual, actually, of that drop shot for now, as he'll hope to possibly be picked back up, as unfortunately BGod ends up getting dropped as well. And look at that, can he bounce? Rushy's coming through, Fists of Fury, as finally exploits drops, and that is a clean beginning for Reciprocity. However, Raver, the young gun, takes down the old school veteran of franchise. But Kenny is there to pick up his fallen comrade. Overall positive for Reciprocity in terms of man count.
Yeah, and Rex starting to move forward. These are long spawns. Bigod's taking a low health. Icy's there for the clean up the break. Almost underway. Actually doesn't get the full break off. Icy's dancing around in the sea of flashbangs.
Oh my goodness.
And looks like those 2 kills should be enough to push Reciprocity back. Of course, they had the early advantage. It actually didn't seem like they got to the hill quick enough. I thought that they had a lot more time, I would say. So you make it over to the home hill. I think they spent a little bit of time trying to get a hold of Raver. Now you're going to see the counter push come in from Fire and Ice Powers. They realizes there's a lot of members in front of him. Better to shoot with his team instead. Fran gets one down, but he's going to be actually traded out. Raver going to be back on the field. The only thing I'm really looking at right now, Landon, is the fact that BGod is on 0 respawns. Yeah. This is the second round of the half. What has he been doing with his spawns before we jumped into this match? That could be potentially crippling to Fire and Ice throughout the rest of this half.
That's a great call, absolutely. Something Fire and Ice has to be aware of. Saying, hey, BGod, all right, how about you go and hang in the back? You know, maybe that would be the best call as of right now. Not too far away from the front line, as Rushies would love to destroy that. And in fact, he will. Raver flying, body parts and all, probably onto District for game number 2. Rushies looks to engage yet again. Fire on both sides, but the flash will mask his opportunity to succeed. Unfortunately, that will be cut down by good old King Choche. And BGod, like we said, the man on 1 respawn still doing a lot of damage despite his current and yet unfortunate spot. I'd like to see it of a guy who definitely has to be aware of his life for the moment. And it looks as if it will be Fire and Ice who actually does cap F.
Yeah, you're going to see BGod just being so careful. He knows that any wrong move could mean he's permanently out. Franchise is there. Taking out Raver, was approaching his hill. That's going to give him the drop shot as well. You got to imagine now, Farek, unless you shoot drop shots like that, can surely use that weapon to just hold down the remaining hill they need. Fran's got to be careful. He has it in his back pocket. Luckily, he outstrafes exploits. Gets the final kill he needs. That should be what does it, unless BGod, the lone survivor, can make the crazy play. He gets one. Is it going to be enough, though? Reciprocity's also hopped on F. Franchise doesn't miss that second drop shot. It's going to take BGod out permanently for the next 10 seconds. Doesn't even need to get back on the field. 4-2 scoreline. Looks like it's been pretty back and forth all the way through, but it's a Swarm team on their map pick with the early lead.
It's kind of what you expect from these two as well, to give us a close series, as these two actually have met 2 different times throughout Emergence days here in Gears of War 5. They actually faced off in week number 2. Keeping in mind that was 1-7 a long time ago. At Reciprocity ended up winning that series 2-1. And most recently, they actually played each other in week 5. And it was, in fact, Fire and Ice who took that series 2 games to 1. And when we talk about what could be the future of this series, Ryan, District and Asylum, District for map 2, Asylum for game 3. District was actually the map that Fire and Ice did take over Reciprocity in week 5, and Asylum was actually the map that Reciprocity won versus Fire and Ice in week 5. So District, Asylum, back and forth. If you are Reciprocity, you're probably hoping for an opportunity to take Vasgar because of your struggle versus this team just 2 weeks ago on that map of District.
Yeah, and historically, from the sounds of it, it's always been very, very close, right? Always seeming to go to the tiebreaker, so we might get lucky again and have yet another one go to tiebreaker. You're going to see Towers with a nice full spread onto BGOD. What's important there, Landon, is BGOD has the one respawn. So now, just off the initial alone, that's the one player you don't want to die so quickly. He's going to be sitting at 0. That's just, again, if you lose, I don't know who let him lose that many respawns in the first round. You almost cripple your team the entire way through. So now Fire and Ice are going to have to make a massive set of plays to win this round, because you got to imagine Reciprocity, they're a world-class team. They're going to be able to hunt down that last player at some point or another, get that kill.
It's like with BGOD, it's one of those things in the task manager where you're just like, why does this open? Like, why did I open this eventually? Why did we allow for this to take place? Fire and Ice.
This is big, though. This is big for
the
Fire and Ice.
domination. They take down Rushies. However, here comes the flurry of Reciprocity players. Powers takes down Exploits. In the meantime, another young star and Raver doing some damage up close, 3 versus 1, and good night to Franchise as Fire and Ice will keep up and stay alive in this round number 7.
That was so big. Winning that fight and finishing that fight was literally what they needed to do. When BGOD dies on the initial like that, their win condition almost has to become some sort of big team wipe, big trip cap, and they did just that. You even saw BGOD fall. So had Reciprocity been off spawn, managed to stay alive, and keep themselves in that round, it would have been a permanent 4v5. So that was a huge kind of sweat off the brow for Fire and Ice, keeping themselves alive in this map. They cannot let themselves get in that situation again, because I just can't see Reciprocity letting that happen twice.
Yeah, definitely can't allow for it to occur. Like we said, this Fire and Ice team has looked excellent as of recent. Have at least finished top 4 in the last 3 weeks. 2 of those being grand final appearances. So, like we said, these guys, the LATAM squadron, who've maybe been kind of slept on, right? 3rd place in LATAM, still have put up a fight consistently against each and every team that they have faced off against for the initials yet again. Keeping in mind, like we talked about, BGOD down to 1 respawn, as he'll be the one who finishes off Powers.
If I'm Kenny, I almost push this guy. I think you got to realize what he has, and doesn't necessarily go for the push, but BGOD almost puts the kill on a platter for him as Kenny hits him with a nice little emote for good measure.
No, man.
That's going to put BGOD down to his last respawn once again. And the first time it was within 12 seconds. Now it's in about 30. But again, Fire and Ice, their win conditions somewhat changed. Back to getting that white, back to getting that potential trip cap. Because if BGOD dies one more time, that's a permanent 4v5 on the field.
Got to be aware of it. Kenny falls to the pistol of Exploits. Raver up close has the positive in terms of the shock that was next to him. However, still keeping consistent. Pushes forward, drops Powers. However, there comes the drop shot from afar. Lovely work coming in from Rushies from long range. And that's just the positive of what that item, what power weapons can do, especially the drop shot. At this point in the game, can pretty much get you out of jail for free, as per usual. And here comes the push from Rec.
And looks like they're getting a hold of that 2-cap once again. The time lead hasn't been lost just yet. Kenny, it's a beautiful full spread onto the King himself. That's going to net them the F-Hill as they continue to move forward. There's BGOD fighting for his life again on 0 respawns. Has to make sure he kind of stays in those back lines throughout the remaining team fights. We're about halfway through this round. Reciprocity starting to build that lead once again. They're set up well, trying to get a hold of that new drop shot. See Franchise there waiting. Obviously Rushies has the empty one. They want to make sure they get him that new ammo at all cost.
Also keep close to mind Choche as well in that last fight. Did go down as here respawns along with BGOD. So a big fight for them to take. See Crystallize having to hop on that F-Hill, tosses out the flash. However, the drop shot comes up close. They both dodge it. A big victory if you're Fire and Ice. However, the fight has only just begun. They managed to take F, and Exploits is on someone of the attack. And that was a much necessary cap, one that they almost had to have considering the deficit that they currently face. But look at this from Reciprocity as the lovely Ensign comes through to take down Raver. Fran and Raver have met at least 4 times throughout our ability to watch them on broadcast, and Fran has won every single one of those fights.
Yeah, good rotation from Reciprocity, realizing that they could not get that F-Hill, instead choosing to head over, grab another one. But in the feed right now, you see someone has hopped on E. Reciprocity still maintaining that lead, but if this break comes in, that could change it. Luckily for them, they're getting the kills they need to get. Franchise not allowing him to get that full cap just yet. He ends up actually doing it and winning the fight. That's
That's huge.
Reciprocity needs to hold down this 2-cap. You're going to see B-God and Choche off the map permanently. Raver wins yet another fight. Continue to hold that hill. He's just playing heroically over on D. Unfortunately, his teammates have allowed E and F to move into the hands of Reciprocity, who despite a little bit of a close call at the end there, they take that 5-3.
Solid victory from Reciprocity, and one that, at least when we got to visit it, was very back and forth pretty much all the way throughout. As Reciprocity, like we said, trying to get back to their form of old.